Hey there, this is Julio for Polycam, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create your own video game character using Polycam. I'm going to take you through the steps of creating a good quality human scan of a real-life friend, cleaning the mesh and its texture in Blender, and then animating our friend using Adobe Mixamo. Then we'll import these new animations into our video game level in Unreal Engine. And finally, we'll turn our friend into a custom third-person character that will navigate our own 3D virtual world. Let's have some fun. Hey, this is my friend Bryn. He's going to be our main character in our video game we're going to design in Unreal Engine. When taking a good quality human scan, make sure to find a space with lots of light. Once you've found a good spot, have your friend stand in A pose. This is where your arms are slightly outstretched from your torso, fingers all touch together, feet slightly more than shoulder width apart. Then we'll open Polycam and get into the photo mode. Once you're there, press the record button in the center of the screen and begin taking your scan. I like to get up close to the face first, as this usually requires more detail. Make sure to get underneath the chin and get the feet and zoom out. Now we'll get the rest of our scan by zooming around. Spend some time getting the hands and underneath the arms, as that sometimes has a hard time coming out well. Next, get the top of the head and the back of the head, as well as the back of the feet. Then we'll continue going around and getting the rest of our scan. Awesome, then we can hit done, and I'm going to change my detail to full and hit upload and process. Now you can check out your scan on your mobile device. This came out pretty good. Next we can check out some cool features in the Polycam app. I'm going to press the AR mode. If you move your phone around, you can situate your scan in your real-life surroundings. We've got Bryn in the palm of our hand. How meta is that? Awesome, so our next step is going to be bringing our mesh into Blender to clean it up. So I'm going to go back to Chrome and type poly.cam to go to the Polycam website. Once I've found my scan, I can check it out one more time, and that looks pretty good. So if you're ready to export, hit export in the top right hand corner and select GLTF, then start download. Next, I'll go to my downloads, find my file, and I'm going to rename it with _Bryn at the end. Then I'll right click and make a new folder on my desktop and call it Bryn_character. Then I'll drag my GLTF into that folder. Awesome. Next we can open Blender and begin editing our mesh. Once you have it open, just delete all the starter content that you see and go to import on the top left hand and select GLTF. Then we can find our file and import GLTF. Awesome. So first thing we're going to do is situate our scan so that he's facing front and that his head is at the center origin. So to do that, I'm going to go to View, Viewpoint, and select Top View. Go to X-ray mode and use the gumball tool to situate your scan so that his head is at the center. Then go to Front View and move it up so that his bottom foot reaches 0 in the Z-plane. Awesome. So now that's done, I'm going to remove any unwanted vertices by going to Select, Select All by Trait, Non-Manifold. Then I can go to Mesh, Merge, by Distance. That removed 5100 vertices. That's awesome. Okay, our next step is going to be cleaning up our mesh. As you can see, there's quite a bit of roof at the bottom that we'll have to remove. To do that, go to View again, Viewpoint Top, press C on your keyboard, and use the middle cursor on your mouse to make that circle wider or smaller. Then you can select, rotate, and hit Ctrl-I on your keyboard to select the inverse, and then delete those vertices. Awesome. Once I resituate it a bit more, I can continue cleaning up the scan. If you go to the top right, select the material mode, you can see how he looks with materials on. Now, I'll show you how to remove loose geometry by hitting L on your keyboard. Ctrl-I, select a loose geometry, and hit delete. Excellent. Now our next step is going to be cleaning up this bottom patch where his feet are touching the roof, and then making sure his feet are both in line. Go to Sculpt Mode in the top left-hand corner, and you'll find at the bottom left the Lasso Trim tool in the Sculpt bar. With this tool we can trim in an organic pattern that we like. Once you find a good patch, just drag and trim any unwanted mesh. I'm going to continue going through this and removing any unwanted mesh. Excellent. So now that's done, I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to call this Bryn_character and save as. Excellent. So our next step is going to be cleaning up these feet even more. I'm going to add a generic cube by going to add mesh cube. Then I'm going to place it so that it's hitting the bottom of his feet. So go to the Z panel and hit -1. Now I'll resituate Bryn so that his bottom foot is intersecting with this cube. The idea is to use this as a cutting object to clean up his feet. Now I'm going to go through the process of cleaning up these feet by dragging any mesh and bringing it underneath the cube so that when we use the Boolean splitting command, it'll clean the feet thoroughly. Awesome. So once you've done that, select your object, go to the wrench icon on the right, select Add Modifier, Boolean Modifier. Then you can use the eyedropper tool and select your cube as your splitting object. Now you can see that the feet have been cut in a nice flat way. I'm going to just do some last minute cleanup. Once you're satisfied, go to the caret and select Apply. Now our feet are nice and flat. Awesome. Now we're ready to clean up this mesh and texture a bit more. Go to the Shading tab, and now you'll see your object with all its textures and parameters. Great. So first thing I'm going to do is select my object, go to Object, and find Shade Smooth. This will smooth out the object a little bit so there's less texture. Great, so our next step is going to be finding the normal map and our parameters. And you can alter the strength level, and as you can see as you bring it up, that brings a little more texture. I'm going to bring it at 0.2. Great. Next step, we can adjust the specular. This will basically add any more detail into the scan. I'm going to put it pretty low so it looks more realistic at 0.1. You can also adjust other parameters like the roughness. This will add more reflection, but I'm going to leave that at 1. Next, I'm going to select my base color, attach a node from the color ramp to emissions, and this will add a bit more lightness and texture to our scan as well. Adjust the emission strength by clicking that bar at the bottom. I'm going to put it at 0.1. Excellent. You can also adjust the strength of your sun in the top right hand corner. I'm going to put it at 0.8, and you can also adjust the rotation as well. Excellent. Now our next step is going to be cleaning up some of these bumps in the texture. So I'm going to hide my cube, go into the modeling mode, find a good view, and then I'll go into sculpt mode. Now I'm going to show you how to clean up some of these bumps. Select the smooth tool on the left hand panel, and you can adjust the radius and strength in the top bar. And now you can go through the satisfying process of smoothing out any bumps. Keep in mind that this mesh isn't going to be completely perfect, but the idea here is just to clean it up as best as possible while still leaving the texture of his clothing and any other material. Great. Another helpful command is the inflate tool. This helps to add density to any loss. This is usually helpful in limbs, arms. Now I'm going to do a few more smoothing commands with the material texture on and switch between to find the right smoothness. Awesome. Next step is going to be cleaning up some of these textures. As you can see, there's a bit of patchiness in the arms. So I'm going to go to the texture pane in the top left, find your brush, go to the color panel, use the eyedropper tool to find the right shade, and you can adjust the paintbrush size using the brackets on your keyboard. Adjust the strength as well in the top toolbar, and you can draw on top of any patches in your texture. Awesome. Keep in mind, this isn't going to be perfect, but the idea here is just to clean it up so that we don't see certain jagged edges when we bring in our scan. You can check out your mesh, and if you're happy with it, you can go to save once again. And now I'm going to go back into the object mode and show you how to export to bring this into Mixamo. Select your object, go to Export FBX, click Limit to Selected Objects and set the path mode to Copy, and click the right hand icon to embed textures, then click Export FBX. Excellent. Next thing, I'll go back to Chrome and type mixamo.com into my toolbar. Once we're there, you can upload your mesh directly into Mixamo. Once it's loaded, you can see you can move your skin around by hitting these lower icons. But he's in a good spot, so I'm going to hit Next. Next, we'll set up the auto rigger. This is where you place joints in the appropriate locations on your scan. Chin, wrists, elbows, knees. I'm going to turn off use symmetry as the knees are slightly off symmetry, and then add groin, and then next. Here, our scan will be set up to be rigged to add animations to. There he is. Then I'll hit next, and this pop-up will come up. Just hit next one more time. Now we've got Bryn situated in Mixamo. Excellent. So as you can see, you can explore characters and animations in Mixamo. What I'm going to do first is in this toolbar, type T-pose, add the T-pose, and this we'll use when we bring in Bryn as a third-person character. Hit download and leave all the parameters the same. Next, I'm going to find a few animations that we can import into Unreal. Let's check this one out, Dancing Twerk. Look at that. Excellent. You can also adjust the parameters like overdrive to make him shake his booty a little bit faster. But I'm going to bring it back to 50. Awesome. Once you're satisfied, you can hit download, leave the parameters, and download. I'm going to explore a few other ones. Let's check this one out. Using a fax machine. Vintage. I like that. I'm going to press download. Let's see this one. Thriller Part 3. Amazing. That's giving MJ a run for his money. We're going to download that as well. Next, we can close out of Mixamo, go to our downloads, and select all our animations and drag them directly onto our desktop. Excellent. Next thing, we're going to go to Unreal Engine. I'm going to go to the Epic Games Launcher and click the top right hand corner to open Unreal. Then you can select Games, hit Next, select Third Person, and hit Next again. Then we'll enter a unique name for our project, creating a character. For our settings, I'm just going to change Ray Tracing to Enabled and leave the rest the same and hit Create Project. Awesome. Then I'll minimize so we can see our animations on the left-hand side. First thing I'm going to do is select one of our animations. It can be any of them. Hit Ctrl-C to make a copy. Then I'll rename this one Bryn Base. This will be the base of our animations. Next thing, in our content browser in Unreal, right-click to make a new folder and type Bryn_character. This is where we'll place our animations. Go into that folder and drag Bryn Base directly into the folder. For our FBX import options, we'll leave everything just the same, but just click on Convert Scene Unit and Import All. You can close out of that, dismiss any plugins. So as you can see, our mesh has been brought into Unreal. Now we can drag in our animations by selecting them and dragging them directly inside. But this time we'll unclick Import Mesh, and in Skeleton, make sure Bryn-based Skeleton is selected. Awesome. Then Convert Scene Unit on and Import. We're going to hit Import for the other two. Excellent. So now our animations have been brought into Unreal. I'll maximize our window, click on Dancing Twerk, and you can see Bryn in Unreal doing his happy dance. Excellent. Now's the fun part where we can drag in these animations into our level in Unreal. Hit F on your keyboard to zoom into any objects when you drag them in, and use the gumball and rotating tools to place them appropriately. Awesome. So now you can have the fun of placing your animations where you'd like. I'm going to place the using a fax machine animation right here. Then we'll add the thriller animation. And to make a copy, hold Alt on your keyboard and drag, and that will make a copy. Excellent. Once you're satisfied, you can zoom out and check out your new scene. Awesome. Now our next step is going to be bringing Bryn as a third-person character. He's going to replace this Unreal Engine mannequin. Go back to the content browser, right-click, make a new folder, call this one Bryn_third person. Once we're in that folder, we'll drag in our T-pose file directly in, and again leave the import options as they are, Convert Scene Unit on, and Import All. Excellent, so now we have Bryn in our folder. Our next step is going to be making a new content browser in our right-hand side. As you can see, I already have mine docked here. If you don't see yours there, go to Window in the top left-hand corner, go to Content Browser, and select Content Browser 2. Awesome. Now I'll maximize our window. And now we have to edit our Unreal 4 mannequin. So press Mannequin folder within the Content Browser, go into the Character folder, and then the Mesh folder, and find our Unreal Engine 4 mannequin skeleton. Once you double-click there, you'll find your skeleton situated inside. Our next step will be to add human joints to this skeleton. So go to Select Rig on the left-hand side, select Humanoid Rig. As you can see, this adds root and target joints to our mannequin. Then I'll hit Save and Minimize. Next, I'll go into our T-pose skeleton of Bryn, and I'll go to Select Rig on the left-hand side and select Humanoid Rig. So as you can see, we have our sources on the left-hand side, but they're missing their targets. So we're going to go through the process of adding targets to these sources, and I'll show you one by one how to do that. For our root, we're going to leave that at none. Pelvis, I'm going to put on hips. Spine 1 will be spine. Spine 2 will be spine 1. Spine 3 will be spine 2. Clavicle L will be left shoulder. Upper arm L will be left arm. Lower arm L will be left forearm. Hand L will be left hand. Clavicle R will be right shoulder. Upper arm R will be right arm. Lower arm R will be right forearm. Hand R will be right hand. Neck will be neck. Head is already placed at head, so we'll leave that. Thigh L will be left up leg in the drop down. Calf L will be left leg. Foot L will be left foot. Thigh R will be right up leg. Calf R will be right leg. Foot R will be right foot. And that's it. So now everything has been rigged. One more information, if you click Show Advance, you can see there's even more joints you can apply. These will be any fingers or more detailed joints, but we're just going to leave it at base. So I'm going to go back to Show Base and hit Save, and I'll add _Bryn third person to our bone mapping, and this will save directly into our folder, and hit Save. Next, we're going to apply these joints to our asset by clicking Apply to Asset on the right hand side. Awesome. Then I'll hit Save and minimize my window once again. So our next step is going to be swapping the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin for our Bryn character. So go type third person, find the third person animation blueprint, right click on it, retarget anim blueprints, and select duplicate anim blueprints and retarget. As you can see, the source is on the left, the Unreal 4 mannequin, and we want our target to be the new Bryn skeleton. So on the left hand side, I'll select T-pose skeleton, and as you can see, that brings Bryn into the target window, and I'll hit retarget. This generates some cool animations like jumping, running, walking of Bryn, and that's great. And then you'll see this new animation blueprint. I'm going to right click on it and rename it with _Bryn at the end, and this will come in handy later. Then what we're going to do is swap in Bryn for this mannequin. Type in the control bar third person CHA, find the third person character blueprint class, double click on it, then you'll find the event graph, but we're going to click on the viewport in the top left where we'll find our Unreal 4 mannequin. Next thing I'm going to do is select the mannequin, go to skeletal mesh on the right hand side and find T-pose, and as you can see, this swaps it for Bryn. But he's still in his T-pose, so we want to apply the new animation blueprint we just made. This is where the renaming comes in handy. I'll go to the anim blueprint, select third person anim blueprint _Bryn, and as you can see now, Bryn is in idle mode as our character. Last thing, I'll go to the left view and drag him up slightly so his feet are in line with the bottom of the capsule. Excellent. Now you can hit compile and save, and we can close out of that window. As you can see now, Bryn is our Unreal 4 character that will navigate our scene. Now you can press play and navigate your new scene with your human scan you've generated in Polycam. Use the W, S, A, and D keys to move around, spacebar to jump, and you can explore your new virtual world. Now that's a party. Awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial of showing you how to bring a custom third-person character into Unreal and add animations into your own video game engine. In our next video, I'm going to bring in more friends into the scene and even some environmental scans. Hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next one.